So far we have seen how to install Python either directly or by using Anaconda. Also we have explored the CLI as well as web-based interfaces to learn Python. But when it comes to application development, we do not either use the CLI or notebook or web-based environments. Rather, we use something called as IDEs. Let us get an overview of IDEs, especially PyCharm, as part of this topic. While we can effectively learn Python programming using Jupyter Notebooks, it is not a good practice to take care of application development using it. There are exceptions for it. When it comes to data science applications, Jupyter Notebooks are actively used for development purpose also. But when it comes to applications such as web, data engineering, mobile, etc., we should fall back on IDEs such as PyCharm. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, and PyCharm is the most popular IDE for application development. It provides features such as collaborative development, refactoring the code, and many other things which will streamline our development process and improve the productivity as a team to develop complex web, mobile, or data engineering applications. When it comes to PyCharm, it have both Community Edition, which is free, and Professional Edition, which require license. PyCharm is a product of a company called as JetBrains, which is quite popular in building the IDEs for different programming languages. When it comes to PyCharm, over a period of time, you should be good at creating projects using PyCharm, using terminal to build the projects and then deploy on remote machines, generating boilerplate code, refactoring code, and also effective use of plugins such as Git for code versioning and interactive development with your fellow team members. These are some of the features which you should be better at once you start getting into the application development process. For now, I will just demonstrate how to set up PyCharm and access terminal. We'll be talking about creating projects and other aspects at a later point in time in other courses or as part of lateral parts of this course. That being said, on Windows, if you wanted to set up PyCharm, you can actually go to the browser. I'm already in the browser. Let me close this, and also let me close the Anaconda for now because it is not relevant anymore in the pursuit of setting up PyCharm. As part of the Anaconda itself, you have PyCharm Professional. If you actually open Anaconda Navigator, there is PyCharm Professional installable. You should be able to install directly using this Anaconda Navigator. Let's wait until this comes up and I will show what I'm talking about. You can see PyCharm Professional here, but I'm not interested in Professional. You can actually use Community Edition for serious application development as well. In some extreme cases, if you are supporting multiple Python projects, using the Professional Edition can be a lot more productive. At that time, you can opt to Professional Edition. For now, we will just use the Community Edition for the demo purpose. So you can open the browser. As part of the address bar or as part of the Google search bar, you can search for PyCharm download. It will take you to the JetBrains URL. JetBrains is the company which have built this PyCharm as a IDE. You can see Professional as well as Community. You can click on Community, and then if you want, you can subscribe for their newsletter, or you can ignore. Now PyCharm is completely downloaded. We can expand this and click on Show in Folder to go to that exe. Or we can double click directly here, which will take care of installation for you. Now I can double click on this. It will take care of installing PyCharm Community Edition on this Windows based machine. I am using the default location. This is the location where it will be installed. Click on next, and here it is asking whether you wanted to create a desktop shortcut. If you are going to use quite extensively, you can this so that desktop shortcut is created. If you want to associate all PYs to PyCharm, you can select this, otherwise you can ignore. Also add open folder as project. I'm not 100% sure about this, but if you want, you can use it. If you want to update path variable so that you can actually launch PyCharm from command line, you can select this as well, but I will not be doing that often, and hence I'm deselecting it. I might use quite often. That's why I have selected to create a shortcut on my desktop for 64-bit launcher. Now I can click on next and then say install. It will take care of installing PyCharm on this machine. Once it is installed, you will see the landing page of this tool, and then we can actually explore how we can leverage it to create a project and also to launch the terminal. It will just take a minute or so to actually take care of the installation on this machine. Now the setup is done. You can select this so that PyCharm is launched after we click on finish. It will actually launch the PyCharm for us. Whatever you will be seeing here will be the landing page or landing part of the PyCharm. Once it is landed, then we will actually take it further. We need to confirm the privacy policy. Click on continue and then say don't send. Now the Community Edition is being launched for us. It will just take a minute for actually get started for the first time. You can see new project, open, get from VCS, which is nothing but version control for the code. You can actually click on new project here. If you want to install any plugins, you can install plugins by clicking on this. We will talk about the plugins at a later point in time, but as part of the landing page, you have the plugins. You should be able to install plugins by selecting this. To get started with the project, you can actually go to projects, click on new project, and then give the project name. Let's leave it as Python project, which is default. And there is a concept of virtual environments when it comes to Python based application development. We'll talk about that at a later point in time. For now, don't worry too much about it. Leave the defaults and then just say create. It will take care of creating a project for you with the name Python project. You can see the name here, Python project. You can close these tips. If you want, you can go through so that you can get better over a period of time. But I typically don't go through the tips. It will just take a minute to actually create the project for us. It will actually create the virtual environment. Leveraging that, it will actually set up the project for us. Now it made some progress, and you can actually see that still it is in the process of setting up the project. It is saying scanning something, it is passed. Now it is saying indexing. So it all takes time to actually set up the project for the first time. Also, Windows Defender is impacting few things. If required, we have to open certain aspects in the Defender. For now, I'm closing this. We'll come back to this at a later point in time if I have to fix it. Still, the project is being set up. We have to wait until this is done so that we can validate our project by running a program. Let's wait until the setup is done. Now it is done. You can see that there is a main.py which is set up for us, which says PyCharm. That's it. Hi PyCharm. It actually says hi PyCharm because when we run this, this is the function or this is the piece of code which will be run. It is invoking print_hi, which is nothing but this one, and we are passing an argument by saying PyCharm. So it will say hi PyCharm as the output. You can right click on this and you should be able to say run main to run this program to validate that our project is set up successfully. If it is not running, that means the project is not set up properly. You have to troubleshoot and fix the issues before you go further and start using this to develop the code for your project. One interesting aspect is the terminal. You can click on terminal. As this is Windows based environment, you should be able to run all DOS commands here, such as dir to actually list the files or folders. If it is Linux or Mac based environment, you can use Linux or Mac related commands to actually interact with the file system. This is typically used to build the projects to deploy on the remote machines. We will get into those details as and when it is required. For now, we just installed PyCharm, set up a project, validated it, launched the terminal. Once we go through all the important aspects in the pursuit of learning Python, towards the end of this course, I will actually cover one module where we can set up a simple project. At the time, you will understand more about PyCharm features. For now, park this aside and don't worry too much about it. We will be using Jupyter based environment to actually learn Python, not the PyCharm. But once we gain some knowledge, then we'll come back to PyCharm and understand how to set up the project, and also we will validate whether the project is set up properly. We will also go through the deployment process. That being said, as we are done with PyCharm, we will also explore another popular IDE, which is nothing but Visual Studio Code. Whether you are using Visual Studio Code or PyCharm, the features will be almost the same. So if you are comfortable with one IDE, you typically will be comfortable with the other IDE. Okay, and the learning curve with respect to IDEs is not very big. You should be able to learn fairly quickly as long as you are comfortable with the programming and some terminology with respect to the application development process. That being said, let's get into the Visual Studio Code, and then as part of the next section, we'll start learning Python using Jupyter based environment.